Action Report.
Hello and welcome to our first ever standalone After Action Report, where people who've tried something brand new tell their tale. For this first one, we've got Lil Guy, who had a lot of fun in a Spider-Man suit. Hey, Lil Guy, how are you? Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So who are you? Give us the bio. Who is Lil Guy?
Gay guy, married, been married for 32 years this year, I think. BDSM sub, relatively new, about 5 years, going on 6.
So still learning, still growing?
Absolutely.
Old dogs, new tricks. It's possible.
Yes.
So what is it you did? What's the new, besides getting into BDSM a few years ago, what's the thing that you just tried, the new experience you just had?
I put on a Lycra Spider-Man suit in the context of sub-dom play session.
Okay, Spider-Man is kind of iconic in some kink scenes and gay male kink scenes. You know, you look at Spider-Man and you think, what a great bondage top he would be. I've seen porn of guys in Spidey outfits tied up. Were you getting tied up in a Spidey outfit?
Actually, the dom that put me in this Spider-Man suit put me in it because there was a history with the suit. A couple of other doms that I had played with had worn the suit. The idea itself, I was really kind of agnostic to, but because of having had the experience with other people wearing it, I wanted to try it.
Okay, so how was it? And where did you try it? Was it just you and this guy one-on-one in his dungeon, or where?
Yeah, me and this guy one-on-one in his dungeon. And I put on the suit, which isn't an easy thing to do, actually, because it had fingers and feet and all that kind of stuff. But once I put the suit on, the sense of strength and the confidence that it imparted was really something else. I've felt that kind of strength before, and it's usually been after some sort of measure of extreme torture of some sort, where I've actually kind of passed out and come to with an expansive sense of my capacity and capability. Mm-hmm. And I had that same sense of strength in this instance, but what was additive and prevailing really was a sense of masculinity that I've never felt before. And it was wild.
You felt powerful in the superhero outfit?
Powerful and very, very masculine and virile.
And yet you were the submissive during the scene?
Yes.
What happened to you once you were in the suit? And did it include the headpiece? Could you see?
It included the headpiece. You really can't see a lot out of it, but it did include the headpiece. And kind of to your point, during the course of this play, I actually did top, and it really pulled out some verbal whatever from me that I've never been able to do before.
You just went full Andrew Garfield beast mode on this guy.
Exactly. I was still a sub, and I guess a passive top in this instance, but I sounded differently. My voice was lower. My affect was aggressive, and I'm not like that.
So you're usually a subbier sub. In this instance, you were a superhero bratty sub.
Yeah, kind of.
So would you do it again? Would you wear the Spider-Man outfit to have sex again?
I have.
You have. Tell us about the second time.
I have. So I took Spider-Man to Steamworks.
For people who don't know, what is Steamworks?
So Steamworks is a bathhouse here in Seattle. And I put myself in the suit and put myself out there in a sling. I honestly don't know who or how many people fucked me. I could really only see, to kind of what we talked about a little bit ago, I could really only see shadows and broad outlines of faces in some instance. I had posted on a couple of apps that I was going to do it. And so if people were there and they came by, and if they knew that, then I suggested that they kind of reference that they'd seen that post on those apps. And it happened a couple times, 3 times actually.
But other guys came around the corner at Steamworks and there was Spider-Man in a sling.
Yes.
And they were happy to see you.
They must have been, because there were quite a few of them. Either that or the people came back for repeats. I don't know. Again, don't know. This kind of anonymous play is different for me because there's usually some sort of vetting, even if it's only looking at the dick that's coming at you. But what I realized actually was that sense of power and strength from the first instance or first episode was there as well. It really kind of took me a while to realize that the turn on was that I was both projecting a masculine ideal and using that projection to disinhibit myself.
To disinhibit yourself.
Against whatever, attractiveness, desirability, body type. It was kind of both a shield and a conduit in a way.
So did you hear from any of the guys that who had seen your ad about being in the Spider-Man suit at Steamworks later, about how it felt for them to get to fuck Spider-Man?
One guy, actually, yes. He must have seen at some point my profile on Sniffies, and he wrote me a direct message that said, "Oh my God, I just fucked you." That was it.
All right. I do want to ask you about your safety precautions, because we're talking about going to a bathhouse, climbing in a sling, multiple different men fucking you. I assume not using condoms. What are, for the people out there, what are your safety precautions? What steps do you take?
Okay, so I am on PrEP and I'm on Doxy. I certainly say and said that you can't really see a lot, but you can see enough to know what's going on. I mean, you can see movement and see that. And, I was in a public part of Steamworks where there were other people around.
And you weren't restrained?
No, and I wasn't. No, exactly. No, I wasn't restrained at all. No.
So if somebody began to hurt you or behave inappropriately or too rough or too fast or not enough lube, you could intervene.
Yeah, exactly.
Any tips for people out there who might want to try something like this? Get in a Lycra superhero suit and go to a public sex environment and take all comers? Any advice? Any tips besides get on PrEP, get on Doxy?
Yeah, I probably don't think that I would do it initially in kind of a public group setting, because you don't know how you're going to react once you're in the suit, and you don't know what that's going to feel like. And I would suggest doing it, with trusted play partner first, at least, and then certainly if based upon that, if you feel like you need to go with a buddy, then certainly go with a buddy.
I was going to bring that up because I think, there are these horse market, anonymous sex parties, this sort of play where you're hooded but not quite hooded. You said you could make out shadows, but you couldn't really see people. To have a wingman there who's keeping an eye on you is a really good idea, but it doesn't sound like that was one of your safety precautions that time at Steamworks.
No, I mean, I don't know as I'd necessarily do it on a Friday night at midnight when the place is crawling with everybody, just because, it could get out of hand pretty quick, potentially.
All right. You going to do it again?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, little guy, thank you for coming on After Action Report and sharing your Spider-Man story.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, that's it for this episode of After Action Report. If you recently took a risk, tried something new, stepped outside your comfort zone, let us know about it by writing up your story and sending it to q@savage.love with the subject line After Action Report. We'll let you know if we want to have you on the show.
After Action Report.